in the episode of The Twilight Zone.
Yeah! Absolutely.
Good stuff. I think all families have deep, dark secrets. Any families with deep, dark secrets?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Mine was enuresis.
What?
You guys don't know what that is? Enuresis?
I know that.
20% of you know what it is, whether you admit it or not. Bedwetting, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who was more embarrassed, my bedwetting, me or my parents. They tried everything to try to cure me of bedwetting. Any product on the market that was available, they bought it. Christmas sucked at our house. Other kids in the neighborhood might get a bike, a puppy, a weight set. Not me. When I was 14 years old for Christmas, I got the Dry Buddy Moisture Detection and Notification Turbo Alarm System. For the bedwetter that has everything. How this large piece of machinery worked is, it was so big we actually had wheels. We had to, a lot of presents are under the tree. We had to get rid of the tree to bring this in. And we wheeled it in and we hooked it up to the bed. And just like the name implies, it detected moisture. And when it did, it would notify, and it used a loud, obnoxious alarm, something like this. Usually occurring somewhere between 2 to 5 a.m. at my house. It would wake up myself, it would notify myself, my parents, my 7 brothers and sisters, and any neighbors with an open window within a 3-block radius. Thank you. It's hard to talk about, quite frankly. There's a lot of, actually every time I hear a car alarm, I check for a wet spot. Misnomers about bedwetting. One of them is that it's caused by laziness. I feel like the Discovery Channel, but I will inform you that it's actually an underdeveloped bladder is what causes bedwetting. But my parents sure thought it was laziness. They would tell me every single morning, "You were lazy. You went to bed again. You were lazy, 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 lazy." To me, laziness is if you lose the remote control and you're not willing to get up off the couch to change the channel from God TV. That's lazy. Laying in urine-soaked pajamas for the better half of 18 years, that's not lazy. Probably the worst part of bedwetting for me, though, was hiding it from my friends. The incognito plastic sheets weren't so incognito. Every time I would go to sleep over at my friend's house, my parents would make me put on underjams. So if you're not familiar with those are plastic undergarments. Better known as diapers today in today's world. We call them diapers. I try to convince my friends, though, that underjams were a new superhero. It's like, dude, you don't know what underjams are? You got Superman, Aquaman, Underdog, underjams, bro. The superhero that likes to party. Also, pretending that I wasn't thirsty all the time. Just stuff at a sleepover. Steve, you sure you don't want something to drink with your cookies? I'm fine. Probably the low point, though, is when my parents sat me down and told me what I'd be doing for summer camp. If you don't believe that this is a real camp, you can Google it when you get home. I swear to God, they checked me into camp. I have a hard time saying this. Enuresis. Enuresis.
Enuresis.
Say Enuresis, pal. But I was going to go, but the deal breaker was when the letter came in the mail and it said, "Dear special camper, for those that are bladder and bowel controlled issues." I said it's one thing to spend the summer with some kid that pisses his pants like I do. But if you think I'm going to share a bunk with some kid that shits himself all summer, you got another thing going. I wouldn't talk about it if it wasn't true, ladies and gentlemen. But I thought I had it tough. I think kids have it tough these days. I see where the National Rifle Association is now hosting a summer camp for children. This is a little strange, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Imagine what the parents are thinking, sending their kids to Camp NRA. Honey, what would you say to getting rid of the kids this summer? Forever. Definitely adds a new element of danger to some of the summertime games you and I might be familiar with. Red Rover, send Bobby Sue Jr. right over. The souvenirs at Camp NRA certainly would be different. My older brother got pistol whipped this summer, and all I get's his lousy t-shirt. That first day back at show and tell, that would be a doozy. Billy Bob, why don't you tell us what you did this summer?
Well, I went to Camp N.R.A. and I've got a 9mm book to throw class.
That's good, Billy Bob. Appreciate that. Maybe you could play for the Giants someday. Being married seems like it's getting tougher these days. Husbands and wives often fight about money. I know every time my wife brings home a new hobby, it costs me a fortune. She recently started meditating. Looks a little bit like this. But I really think it's going to do wonders for our relationship. It's the least expensive hobby she's come back with yet. No new equipment to buy, no subscriptions or membership fees. I don't even need any new batteries. That's a big plus. I feel like I hit the jackpot. But guys, I don't know if your house is anything like my house. Every time my wife gets a new hobby, I get a new hobby. Steve, let's meditate together. I was like, oh, here we go again. But the more I started to think about it, I was like, yeah, this ain't so bad. I'm not missing out on this one. If you think that you're the only one that's going to sit around this house and do absolutely nothing all day, that's what I do around here. I got the market on that one. But my wife gets turned on when I meditate. I mean, she really gets turned on. A couple of weeks ago, she'd walk by me. I'd be laying on the couch. She'd be like, you lazy bum. Now that I'm meditating, she walks by and she's like, oh, my spiritual guru. But had something really embarrassing happen in Myrtle Beach a couple weeks ago. I was doing a show like this, and I got to that point of the show when I said my wife really gets turned on, but instead of saying when I meditate, I said when I masturbate. Yeah, they thought it was pretty funny too in Myrtle Beach. They didn't know what meditating was, but they sure knew what masturbating was. The more I started to think about it, though, the more I realized the two have quite a bit in common. They both involve a lot of heavy breathing with an occasional scream or yell. Thank you. They both can be accomplished in minutes, or some prefer to do them all day long. The times of the day between meditation and masturbation also seem very similar. A lot of people like to do it late at night while they're sneaking into bed. Then there's other morning people that like to start their day with a bang. I think the locations are also pretty similar. A lot of people like to sneak away to a quiet location where they can really focus. Then there's others with a higher concentration level that can pull it off just about anywhere. Thank you. I think the hand positioning between the two are also very the same. Very the same. But I think that if you had to wind it up with one sentence, I think it's fair to say, between meditation and masturbation, that they're both spiritual experiences that, if done correctly, should result in a happy ending. Is that fair?
Yes.
That's all I got.